Hey everyone, first off, thanks for watching. My name is Justin Parker, and I'm no expert at decoding symbolism and entertainment or anything like that. I'm just a guy who likes movies and also notices patterns and sometimes symbols that make me wonder. So if you have anything to add to the conversation, go ahead and drop that in the comments. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so the first thing we see here is the opening shot for examination day. And these buildings are very reminiscent of Masonic artwork I've seen before. You've probably seen it as well. Not only do we have a pyramid, but just off in the distance next to that pyramid, you can see two towers, right? Two pillars, probably Yakin and Boaz, right? I'm guessing that's probably solar panel. Kind of looks like stairways as well. And also down here on the bottom, I noticed we got kind of a almost checkerboard pattern going on. It's very subversive on that one. Not only do we have representation of day, but later on you'll see the same scene represented at night, which goes back to that same artwork where you have the sun and you have the moon. We got the two pillars, we got stairways, we've got checkerboards, we got a pyramid. We got a lot of stuff here just in this one shot already. Now, what we're seeing here is not just a square, but we're also seeing a window. And that might not seem like much, but a window could be metaphorical for many things. But in this instance, I'm almost tempted to think maybe it has something to do with Windows, as in the operating system, because this episode deals heavily with future technology. When I say future technology, I mean technology that was not around at the time that this episode was aired, which was 1985. And so we see things in this episode that we now have. Not exactly identical, of course, in look, but the concepts.
Happy birthday!
Okay, look at that. Did you see that? That candle's self-lit. They all self-lit. That's what they're all going to light themselves. We see a blue square cake with 12 candles. The shadows of the candles create kind of a checkerboard look, and what strikes me as odd about the square shape of the cake. How many times have you seen a square birthday cake? I've seen sheet cakes, which are rectangular, but usually they're round cakes, or at least the ones I make are always round, but square. It seems intentional. Paired with the blue color and 12 candles, I would say there's probably already something here to dissect. Metaphorically, the cake and candles could represent the journey of personal growth and attainment of wisdom. Now, also, as you know, in the Bible, Jesus became more aware of who he was at the age of 12. And this is when he was truly on his path of enlightenment. And speaking of enlightenment, the candle has self-enlightened. Much like many of you and much like myself, enlightenment comes from within. You have to light your own candle in order to see in the dark. No one's going to light it for you. Now, the question is, how do these candles light? I don't know. They never touch it. They never go on that concept. They never say, hey, this is some kind of new technology. They don't say if it's magic. Then this is what happens next. And I feel like maybe it's a little symbolic of the story in and of itself.
Congratulations!
So just like that, the candles are now blown out. The light that was once there is now gone, just as fast as it was there, which is foreshadowing the episode's story in just a few seconds, as the candles also double as a representation of the boy shown here. His name is Dickie, by the way. Now, what I mean by that is Dickie is shown to be a very smart individual, very bright, if you will. It seems like a proper terminology.
I did it!
Happy birthday, son. Yeah, you get to make a wish.
So he's told he can make a wish, which could be viewed as a magic ritual in and of itself, especially considering that those candles just lit themselves. That is not normal. Oh, and this is based on a story by Henry Slesar. I'm not sure if I said that name right, but I read the original story. It's about the same. The only difference is they updated this a little bit more to make it more futuristic than the story already was, but not too many changes occurred. Almost the dialogue is almost verbatim as well.
I wish for... Shh, you don't have to tell us, honey.
And you see that? As Dickie is about to state his wish, his mother holds her finger to her face and shushes him. implying secrecy or confidentiality, often associated with secret societies. Also, as a kid, like most people, I was told not to tell my wish to others or it wouldn't come true.
No, it's okay. I want you to hear it. I wish for a good mark on the government examination next week.
Dickie has just broken the first rule of making a wish. He stated it in front of everybody. His parents looked disappointed by what he wished for as well.
What's wrong? Did I say something?
Oh, no, honey, not at all. It's just that you didn't have to use up your birthday wish on that. You'll do fine on the exam. You shouldn't even be thinking about it.
But everybody at school's been talking about it, and 3 or 4 kids have already taken the test, and they said it was real easy. I just want to do well and make you proud of me.
We are proud of you, Dickie.
Terribly proud.
And we love you, son. Oh, you're 12 years old today. You're almost a man. And this is a day for celebration. We're not going to worry about anything.
But I'm not worried. I just said the examination is supposed to be real easy, and I get good marks in school.
Then let's just drop it, honey.
All right, so the whole banter here is he's excited and nervous and anxious, as any kid would be about a test. But instead of actually having a conversation with him about it, they're just kind of brushing him off and moving the focus to his birthday. Speaking of it being his birthday, this is his birthday celebration. And you notice there's just the 3 of them. Now, in 1985, if I had seen this as a kid, I would have thought to myself, that is a peculiar birthday party. There's nobody there. See, when I had birthday parties as a kid, there was family members, friends, neighbors. There was just so many people who would show up to birthday parties and come say hi to whoever's birthday it was, right? But here we see a small family unit celebrating in their apartment or whatever that is. I'm assuming it's an apartment. And that kind of seems a little bit like something from now or absolutely in our immediate future, given the recent social distancing that we practice since some current events or recent events anyways.
Why don't you cut your cake and then we'll open your present, okay?
Sure, okay, Mom.
Oh, look at that. Just in case you were not sure the cake was symbolic of Freemasonry image, they doubled down with the square glasses, another thing that should typically be round. But this time, it's filled with a yellow fluid. So you got yellow and blue in squares, right? Well, what's yellow and blue? Who loves yellow and blue? Is it a sports team? Is it the Freemasons? Is it the Illuminati? I don't know. But I do know that they went out of their way to give us these square items so that we pay attention to them. Also, I might add that the cutting of the cake could be a little reminiscent of a masonry trowel or hand spade. So there's some symbolism right there as well.
Here it comes. Close your eyes.
Okay, I'm going to pause it here. We got a lot to unpack. So first off, we have the squares on the circle. So they have squared the circle. This is a Freemason expression. And so we're seeing things that have been circular traditionally, glassware, cakes, are squared. And the table is still circle. They want us to know that the circles have been squared by showing us these squares on the circle. The circle has been squared. So now that that's squared away, well, let me get this one out of the way because I'm sure some of you have probably already noticed it. But look at the stance this young fella has. Does that remind you of anything? Aleister Crowley, perhaps? Very famous photo of him making almost that exact same pose. And who covers their eyes like that? And if you look at the general composition, and there's still hints and clues of what's going on here, we have an almost triangular direction for our eyes coming from the bottom of the table up to the lighting fixture, which is splayed out. So you got light illuminating above. From that point down to the table, you get kind of a triangular shape. You have a modest kind of nod to the checkerboard behind them. I mean, we could read into this. We go, oh, that's the sun over there. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say all of this was intentional, what we're seeing on this screen right now. There's just too much going on, and there's stuff I'm missing. So please, by all means, throw your hat in the ring, throw your 2 cents down, and let me hear what you got to say about this. But I'm sure I missed something here. Like, does this red stripe on the chair mean something? Do these chairs mean something? You let me know, because like I said, I'm no professional at breaking down symbols. I'm just pointing out stuff that I see. Okay, hold on. See that? We have a black cube. We have more of the square and cube symbolism. But this could be considered perhaps the cube of Saturn. And as you can see, young Dickie here is still making the Aleister Crowley hand pose. I'm not sure the relevance of the television behind them, or if that's a television. It could be an omnicoder, which is what he's about to receive here in this box. Now, this box looks black in this shot, reflective in black. On the next shot, it looks silver. I'm not sure what that means, but I know here it does look very intentionally dark, and it's a cube.
Ready?
I mean, that looks black to me, right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's check this out. This is a gift of technology that Dickie has received here, right? Technology comes by way of knowledge, which, much like Eve was given in the Garden of Eden, she was given a gift, right, of knowledge by way of a fruit. I bring this up also to add the fruit is commonly said to be an apple, even if it's not. It's just what we tend to symbolize it with. And what is the most popular phone on the market right now? That's right, you guessed it. The iPhone by Apple, right? This device is called an omnicoder. It can make calls and has a screen, which in 1995 was a pretty wild idea. Not the first time it was ever talked about, but you know. But as you know, most of us have a technological device of our own with a screen we can make calls on, which we call smartphones. Smart, knowledge and technology in the form of gifts, for someone who is still innocent. Notice all these parallels. Moving on.
Oh my gosh, an omnicoder!
By the way, think about how awkward that would be to be walking around with that. No, it's obviously not. He's not walking around with it, but that thing is bulky. You got to set that down somewhere, and wherever you're using it, that's it. You ain't lugging that around with you.
Dad! Oh, Mom! This is great.
Notice a lot of the framing of Dickie here, he has light behind his head too, almost like a halo, right? Remember the candles earlier? Dickie is the candle. He is illuminated. He is smart and bright. This is not like an accident here. This is definitely intentional, what we're saying. Everything we're seeing in this episode, 100% intentional.
Really, Mom?
It's all yours, Dickie.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh boy, I can call my friends and I can.
Now, see, they stop before they tell us what else it does. I don't know what else it does. Maybe he could watch TV. Maybe he could watch his favorite conspiracy YouTube channel on there.
Wait a minute, I thought you said I had to be 14.
The government changed its regulations last month. We were hoping that you hadn't heard about it yet.
The omnicoder can be used now by 12-year-olds. It usually was regulated to be, you had to be 14 years of age in order to use this device. I'm not sure the significance on that one, so if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. We could always revisit this one later. I do find it interesting that they show us a world where the regulation of a device for communicating with a screen, right, is set to a certain age. How many times you've been in a grocery store and you see some child, some baby sitting in somebody's basket playing on a cell phone?
Of course, you won't be assigned a number until you've passed the examination.
Oh, and they are so ham-fisted with the way these parents are reacting. Just anytime they talk about a test or anything, they're just looking at each other all, oh God, oh, you know. And so that makes the twist at the end a little predictable. So here we have the nighttime representation of the cityscape. The pyramid in the background is a little bit more obscured now by the rain and thunder and everything going on, but you see they showed us both day and night. And then I'm not 100% sure about the bottom, because during the daytime that looked more like a checkerboard. Now here it looks more like steps again. So maybe the symbolism is kind of versatile in that respect. But there's so much going on with this.
Dad, what's the government examination for exactly?
I want to point out his father is reading the galactic news.
It's just an intelligence test. The government wants to know how smart you are, Dickie, that's all.
Is it like a test at school?
Sort of. Why don't you watch TV until bedtime?
I'd rather read. There's nothing good on TV tonight.
Is tongue-in-cheek. Given this is a TV show episode we're watching, and it's implying that watching TV is not for smart people. This is also likely intentional in and of itself as a hidden message, and plans can be planted into TV shows and written off as goofy, far-fetched ideas. Oh, that's stupid. It was on TV, right? So to me, I don't know. I got a chuckle just hearing them like, oh, why don't you watch TV? And he's like, nah, nah, as we're watching a TV show. I'd rather read this comic book. Look at him read. Did you hear that sound? Sounds like a siren, right? Listen to it.
Please stop worrying about it.
So we heard that sound, and it keeps going a little bit more. We hear this like siren sound. Now, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the music or if it's a sound they're hearing. Like maybe it's because this is supposed to be morning. They tell us in a moment, but I didn't know that upon first watching because I thought it was nighttime. But that siren could have been their, like morning siren. Wake up, get going. And, if that's the case, they wouldn't discuss it. Obviously, they're not going to be sitting around like, oh, did you hear that morning siren today? So annoying. Yeah, it was more annoying than usual. They're not going to be like that. Instead, they would just kind of know what it is and just move on with their day as they're doing. You see them getting ready. So I like it because it is subtle in the way that they also kind of incorporated into the soundtrack with other music coming up here in a minute. And to me, that is probably the best thing they've done in this. As far as hiding something, that's the best thing they've done because that was pretty subtle. Everything else has been kind of in your face.
You'll do fine.
I can't help worrying.
Keep your voice down. There's no need to upset him.
Richard? He's not like the other kids.
He'll do fine. Fine.
Okay, so Dickie's awake. And as you just heard his parents say, he's not like other kids. You see that? Was he a mad scientist or something? He walked into the room. He's got a very sterile lab coat on and the lightning strikes. So what is the purpose of that? That was pretty subtle too. Usually when you see lightning striking, it's for some scare or some cliche thing. In this instance, the lightning could be linked to something more of a deity, like gods or supernatural beings. It could also just be further strengthening the idea that Dickie is enlightened, bright, full of deeper wisdom than others. We just got done hearing he's not like other kids, right? It may also indicate something bad is about to happen to Dickie or his family. I believe it could be all of these things. The storytelling device of using lightning is generally cliche, as I said. But in this instance, it's played subtle enough to not make the scene comedic or tacky.
No, not today. Why did it have to rain today?
Rain makes the grass grow, son.
But why today, when I get the whole afternoon off after the exam? I wanted to go to the park and then maybe even the zoo.
Well, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes it has to rain.
Sometimes it has to rain. And in this instance of the story we're watching, it could represent their ideal of purification and cleansing. And you'll see why I say that in a bit. So what are they telling us? perhaps that what is about to unfold is needed to maintain their order, their status quo. I don't know.
It could always rain at night.
Sometimes it does.
I know. Could I get my omnicoder number this afternoon?
Also, look at their clothing. The color, anyways, reminds me of something I've seen in Freemasonry. I'm not sure the relevance of that or that shade of blue.
And then if it's still raining after school, I can call my friends. Could I, Dad?
We'll see, Dickie. Ready?
I'm ready.
Good luck, Dickie.
Don't worry, Mom. I'll do well, I promise. I won't let you down.
I know you won't, sweetie. I know you won't. I love you, Dickie.
Just everything about this test is problematic. This bright young man who's ready to go take his test, you can kind of see where the story's going.
I love you so much.
It's time, son.
And just I want to point out something about the way he's dressed there. It almost looks kind of like it could be a robe or a cape. I'm not sure the significance of that. We see that TV off in the background again. Those things are everywhere. So I'm guessing, well, now that I think about it, back in 85, not every room had a television in it. So maybe that's what that is. Maybe they're showing, because I've seen a lot of shots where we got TVs in it, or omnicoders. Yes, the pyramid, the two towers. And those could be whichever two towers you want to take them as. It could also be pillars. We got that checkerboard bottom kind of stairway. I guess that's what that is. And again, another symbolism of stairways and pillars here.
Dickie?
Oh, this is how you knew it was the future in the 1980s, is whenever you saw one of these glowing orbs. And the more of them you saw, the more futuristic it was. There's one. Oh, two. Hey, now you see that he touched one after he told his kid not to. So they're making their way to the intelligence exam. And this place is a bit of a circus. Look at these outfits. They've made it to the 12-year government intelligence test area.
Your name, please?
Richard Jordan, Jr.
But everybody calls me Dickie.
I just want to throw out that I really love that outfit. I can't wait until those come into style. I'm going to be right in line wearing this Missy Elliott outfit. What is that?
Your identification number is 600115. You can wait over there until your name
Anybody
is
out
called.
there know what that means? 600115. Let me know.
Richard Jordan, Jr. Richard Jordan, Jr.
Are you gonna wait here?
No, that's not the way it works, son. They'll call us at home in a few hours.
Richard Jordan, Jr.
Oh, a few hours. They're going to be
Here.
at this for a while.
It's Dickie, right? Follow me, Dickie.
Good luck, son. Don't worry about anything.
Don't worry, Dad. I'll do well. I really will.
Next.
Hi, you're Richard.
Jordan Jr.
Now, if I'm missing anything,
Identification
please tell
number
me.
600115.
Again, this is not what I
Right.
do
Drink this,
professionally or anything. What you just see here, too, is Dickie is drinking something. Without question, they hand him something, he just chugs it.
This isn't exactly like the test you take in school, Dickie. The liquid you've just drunk is to make sure you answer all the questions as truthfully as you can.
But why wouldn't I?
The government doesn't think you wouldn't, Dickie. The liquid is just to make sure. You can sit over here for a moment while I set up the examination.
Probably checking to see if the truth serum has kicked in.
Now come over here.
Has his eyes
Try to
dilated?
relax. You'll be asked some questions. Think them over very carefully, then speak your answers aloud. You won't have to use the keyboard at all.
Did you hear that? They have the most wild technology idea in 1985 of being able to speak to a computer without using a keyboard for it to understand what you want it to do. Yeah, this is before Bixby and Alexa. So
I'm going to leave you alone. When you're ready to begin, just say, ready. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, Dickie.
Ready.
Complete the sequence of numbers 1, 4, 7, 10.
also, with the rain, I'm assuming it's just all about purification, cleansing, change. This to me just looks like it's probably gibberish. But, you know, with as much intentional stuff as this episode has had so far, I'm not going to put it past them. All right, here we have the big reveal of the episode.
Yes. Hello?
Mr. and Mrs. Richard Jordan, please.
Yeah, speaking.
Here. This is the Government Educational Service calling.
Here.
Your son, Richard Jordan Jr., has completed the government examination, and the results have been analyzed. We regret to inform you, your son's intelligence quotient has exceeded the government standard according to Rule 84, Section 5 of the new code.
Turns out Dickie was too smart for his own damn good. So what happens now?
You may specify now whether you wish his body interred by the government or would you prefer a private burial.
Oh, that is cold. Dickie was too smart for their society, and as a result, he was terminated. Where today, educational standards have declined. Conformity is encouraged, and initiatives like No Child Left Behind prioritize advancement over actual education, like learning things. Such measures may reflect a broader trend towards managing societal norms to maintain stability and hierarchical control, safeguarding established systems of power from dissent and disruption. Now, Dickie won't grow up to be a problem for his government, and the kids left to live in his world, for lack of a better phrase, are too dumb to do anything to make a change. And so that concludes this episode of Twilight Zone's 1985 reboot. The story is Examination Day. If you noticed anything that I didn't point out, please tell me. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Have a good one.